Okay, so today we are going to do something called Celtic knots. Have you seen Celtic knots before? These are, let me show you some pictures of what Celtic knots are. Have you seen designs like these? So these are from something like this. See, these are designs from a culture called the Celtic culture, which is about I think maybe 3,000, 3,500 years old. And there's a lot of history about who these people were, the Celts, and what they used these knots for. And what they often use the knots are to symbolize that everything is connected and everything is circular. You think you're going in one way, but whether you like it or not, you just come right back around to the same. That everything is connected with each other and everything is interwoven. That is what the design shows. And they can be made into very, very detailed images like these. Or look at how this border has been made. Or it can be introduced in a particular design like this. So I'm going to show you how to create some of these knots, and then you can find creative ways of using it in a lot of places. So these knots are almost like if you were to take ribbon or rope and you actually make a knot out of it, that is how it will look. But we are going to make that in 2D. Okay? And we'll make one knot design and then I'll show you how to decorate it very in a very detailed manner as well. Okay, so the first thing to make knots we have to learn is overlapping. So I'm going to show you one simple overlapping tile. Then we will try a little more complicated overlapping. Then we will try some Celtic knot designs, and then the same knot expanded, and then we will try to make something that could be used like a bookmark. Okay, and we'll make that design here. Alright, so let's first draw a square. I'm going to draw it a little darker than it should be, but I want you to draw it light. So this is just a sketch. You can just draw a sketchy square. Kaira, make it pretty big. Don't make it very tiny. Just don't draw like this. Hold your pencil a little far away and make a long line like that. Even if it's crooked, it's fine. Okay, now let's divide this in two parts vertically and two parts horizontally. And don't use a scale for this, use freehand. No need to use a scale. As far as possible, we don't want to use scales at all. Now, look at what I do. We have 4 squares. I'm going to give them a number. We have 1 square on top here. This is 1. This is 2. This is 3. And this is 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are our 4 squares. Now, on square number 1, I'm going to draw 2 lines which are rather long and they come a little beyond this half line. Just a little beyond. In square number 3 then, we are going to draw horizontal two lines or two horizontal lines which do the same thing. They go across the box and go into box number 4. Actually, I should have named them 1, 2, 3, 4. That would have been better. Now in square number 4, we draw the same thing from bottom to top like that. And then come back right back to square number 2 where we draw two horizontal lines. So in every diagonal square we have drawn vertical and its neighbor we have drawn horizontal. Now this is overlapping. But you can't see the overlap until we actually make a line on the other side of the crossing parallel lines, right? Kyra, look here. Look here. So now I'm going to take the lines from 1 and I'm going to extend that into 3 beyond the two horizontal lines. Can you see that? The same thing we will do for the lines we've drawn in box 3. We will extend that into line 4. Can you do this now? Just do this and see whether your your overlaps are looking like mine. And then obviously we will do the same thing to the lines that come from box number 4. They go under the horizontal lines in box number 2 and go beyond to the other side. And then box number 2 goes under box number 1. Okay, can you see how these lines are overlapping now? Now let's make the same thing again. Leave a little gap between this and make the same thing again. And I'm going to show you a magical thing. Let's see if it makes it any different. Again, we are repeating the same thing. We are drawing 4 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Draw vertical parallel lines at box number 1 that extend into box number 3. Horizontal parallel lines that extend into box number 4. Vertical parallel lines that extend into box 2. And horizontal parallel lines that extend into box 4. Kyra, is yours looking like mine? Can I have a look? Okay, I'm pinning it. Let's see. Can you hold it in front of your face? Just hold it in front of your face and a little closer. It's very bright. I can't see. Okay, a little to the left and a little up. Oh, okay, lots of confusion there. So this is what I wanted to see. Good. I'm glad you showed it to me. Look here. Kyra, look here. Now, see, you've drawn only 2 lines here. But you have to make sure that this line looks like, let me just show you again. See, this line looks like it comes out from underneath this. Can you imagine this like a ribbon? And you draw this line and it comes out underneath this. And this line comes out underneath this. So it'll look like this. Like if I put my finger on top of the other finger, the other finger doesn't go shift somewhere else, right? Do you get it? So the lines of the finger come exactly, it's like it leaves over here, it's covered by the other finger and then comes out on the other side. That's how we need these lines to look. So for the bottom one, can you make it that way? Just imagine these to be ribbons or maybe what else can overlap, like baskets or something like that. So you should be able to see this. If I were to draw a line through this, it should look like it is actually going to continue. That is the most important thing that you have to do with these lines if you want to get these knots to look nice. Okay, let me know when you're done, Kyra, so that I can show you now how we can join these. Now this is not a knot right now, it is just overlapping stuff. So it's basically looking like that, but it's not a knot. A knot is something that looks like it has been tied up. Right? So Kyra, look here now. Just observe. Now I'm going to join some of these lines with semicircles. So let's take these two lines which are close to each other. I'll join them in a semicircle. All the lines in the middle, I'll join them with a semicircle like this. Okay, can you join them? And then we're going to take the other lines, like these lines are pointing up, so they will come around and come and join each other. So they should, you can't join it like this, it'll look really odd. It should look like a nice big circle. So everywhere over here, this should be the same thickness as our line. See? And do the same thing on the sides. Oh, I did not realize how big it's going to become. I'm not making this too dark. Now this is knotted. Can you see how it looks like two ovals which are knotted? They cannot come out. There are no free ends here. Can I see what you've done, both of you? Then I know that you got it. If not, then I can clarify.
Ma'am, I did not get the first one.
You can't get the first one? Okay, so were you able to make this? Let's see, it's the same thing. Why your baby? Correct. Oh, very good, very good. Now use the on the second one itself. Do the same thing. See, you have the same thing, right? You have these two. Join them with a semicircle. Yeah, let's see, Tabitha. Yours is looking good. Very good, very nice. So, Kyra, you will join all the centered lines. These are ends, loose ends. You will join all of them. Excuse me. That came out of nowhere. So, all four are joined. Now, each of them has a partner. Join those partners also. You will be able to see them. So the inner lines and the outer lines. Now Tabitha, can you think of joining some other lines in this to make a different kind of knot? Do you want to experiment and see what you can do? It's the same first construction, but you can make a different knot with this. Okay, so while you're thinking, Tabitha, you can do this, and Kyra, you can do this later. This is the easy part. Wherever you see a line that is crossing over another line, like over here, here, on the line below, you can make a little bit of shading from dark to less dark. See, then it actually looks more three-dimensional. And you do this on all the overlaps. Underneath the overlaps, you will do it. Don't do it on top, because obviously what is the shadow going to be off? And this will make your three-dimensional knot even more refined. Kyra, did you manage? Yes?
Still doing.
You're still doing? Alright, we'll wait for you. So in your case, Kyra, I want you to just focus on this much, and I want you to repeat this pattern 3-4 times. And I'm gonna show Tabitha something else. But you can look at that, but don't bother with making that right now. It might be a little complicated for you. So practice this 2-3 times, and I'll come and show you the design on this, the complicated design on just this. Now Tabitha, for you, I'm going to give you another structure now. In this structure, we start off again with a square. And in this square, another way of drawing this, okay? In this square, you will make 2 lines horizontally and 2 lines vertically. So just see that these squares are more or less the same size. Now another way of making a Celtic knot is when we make it diagonal. So how do we make it diagonal? The first thing you do is just mark circles on all the intersections. So this is a line intersecting, so you do 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, not on the corners, you don't really need it on the corners. Then we will draw circles inside these squares and draw them on all the 9 squares. So we have the outer square, edges untouched, no lines, no dots drawn. Intersections between the verticals, drawn dots or circles. Now, let's look at this set of 9 circles. In this, we are going to create a crisscross pattern exactly like this. So take the first 2 diamonds, or first 4, this diamond shape, and I want you to draw 2 parallel lines that go from the edge of the circle to the adjacent edge. See, like these are all in a diagonal line. So you draw a diagonal pair of lines. Then you will draw the same lines underneath. So right below that, you will draw the same pair of lines, circle to circle. Then we will draw in the lines next to that, we will draw lines going in the opposite direction. So see what we did over here vertically, we are doing here on the diagonal. It's basically the same thing, the technique is slightly different. This one will help you make a much bigger, longer structure. Okay, so this becomes the central structure. And now if you understood the logic, all you need to do is join this line here to this line like this, and this line to this. So you have an internal oval completed and linked. Okay, are you getting it? And
Yes.
you do the same thing on the other side. It's quite logical, so you should be able to get it. Now we can turn this around and make it like this. Then we'll get this shape. Or we could just go around this circle and make it like a taper. See, this looks very, very fancy. So go around this circle, but taper it like this. So once you get the internal done, the external is quite easy to do. Got it? Oh, let's see Kyra. Okay. Okay. One minute, Kyra. Could you? It's too bright. Hold it there. Um, so there is a little bit of confusion in the top part. The bottom you have got very well. See, this part you've got very well. In the top, the lines are a little confused. The top and this part. Try one more time. Draw it one more time. And this time, Kyra, I want you to draw the vertical lines in one color and draw the horizontal lines in another color. See if that will make it a little easy for you. All right. Now, we are going to now extend this and make a much bigger knot. So let's
Ma'am,
start
I
off.
did not get how to do that.
Sorry,
I did not get how to do that.
you didn't get it? Okay, tell me where you got stuck.
Uh,
Can I see it?
yeah.
Okay, let's have a look. It's looking a little fuzzy to me. There's a shadow on it. Can you send a picture, Tabitha? I can't really tell.
Okay.
Okay, Kyra, do you want to do the one with the colors? I'll do it with you. This time I'll make it slightly smaller because it's not too much.
Okay, ma'am.
So let's make this again and let's use color pencils or sketch pens. Do you have that?
Ma'am, can we use brush pen?
Brush pen. Right now we need to draw lines. Can you draw lines with the brush pen?
No, ma'am.
Use your color pencils. You have color pencils?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's start. I'm making the vertical lines in green. Okay, this part I think you know. And then horizontal line in green. Oh, sorry, red. What am I saying? Then again, vertical line in green. I think this can become a little wider. And I'm going to color this up. Now this looks like a red and green ribbon, which is perfect for Christmas time decoration. And then again, two horizontal lines, nice and flat. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Tabitha, I got your picture. So I'm going to show you what to do. Yeah, can you see your picture?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to show you what you've mostly done it right. So you've done this. This is correct. Now, I don't know what this is right now, so I'm going to ignore it. I'm taking this as the circle. So this is correct too. All right. Now I'm drawing two lines like this. Okay. And basically, I'm going to just connect this. Wait, let me show you in a different color. So I'm going to take this line and connect it to this. And this line here, go outside of the circle and make this shape. The same thing, see this line on the top here is connected to the inside here, and this go around the circle and come down and create a link. And then similarly, we will create a link from this line, go all the way around like this. From this point, down this circle and make a link like this. Did you get it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to share the picture back to you so that you know what to do. Kyra, where are we?
It is.
Okay, you did so much.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now we have to connect the red to the red and green to the green. So look at this line. This is the inside part of the green. It will connect to the inside part of this green. And the outside line of the green will connect to the outside line of the green. Did you get this? Oh. See if you can make it like that. Once you color it, you will be able to see how it overlaps. Now, even over here, see, we are extending this line from underneath the red ribbon, and then we will join this. Did you get it, Kyra? Are you getting it now? Ah, yeah, let's see your Tabitha. I'll show you yours again. Huh? Yeah, so now this is looking good, Tabitha. But do you see how where you connect the line is important? This line You have to imagine this like a ribbon or a chain or something like that. So here, this diagonal line actually connects, oh, sorry, down to that line. See, this is what is going to become one shape. It's almost like a chain link, you know?
Yes.
So you have to draw it in such a way that I should be able to imagine that this line is a continuation of the line that I see. Do you want to try making it one more time? That way you won't have all these lots of lines in the middle to confuse you. Okay. Kyra, are you done with so much?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we can add the red lines to the side. Now, did you understand how to do this? Now we will link this inside line to inside line. Outside line goes round and links outside. Inside to inside. Outside goes round and links up. Okay, can you give me 2 minutes? I'm just gonna go away from the desk and come back. Till then, will you practice? How's it going? Kyra, are you done with this now?
Yes, ma'am.
Wonderful. Okay, now we won't make it any more complicated. But I would just wanted to show you. Look at these. You can keep making more and more and more of these. And I think this might get very complicated for you right now. So let's make a design on something like this. But I want to show you one more thing. So there's two ways of making this knot that I think is just so brilliant as a design. I'm going to make the same thing again, so you can follow me again. Vertical, horizontal, run across, vertical, horizontal, and I'm making sure it's going into the other box. Then I will extend the lines further. Now let's see if it works, huh? I don't know if it's going to work. Now, instead of joining these two, I'm going to join these two. What do you think will happen? Then this line will go out. Then I can join these, or I can join this. Oh my god, look at that. Let's see if this works. I don't know if this is going to work. And then what do I do? Do I join this or do I join that? Oh, forget it. I'm not going to do this. I am going to go back to my corners. This is mixing too many things. So then I can just join this. Just join the corners. Now in this case, see, it's just one thread going through and through. Isn't it lovely? So it's almost like an infinity loop. You can just keep going on and on and on. And again over here we can shade a little bit underneath the line that is being overlapped, underneath the overlapping line, sorry. Now if you want to make this a little more complex, do you want to make it more complex? We can make a line go inside this, like a parallel line from both sides. And this will make it look a lot more finished and regal, so that inside that line you can do whatever you want. See? So here you can then color inside it if you want, or you can do some patterns inside this. And there are some Celtic knots that inside this also they will make more Celtic knots. Okay, I'm going to try making a more complex version of this one. So here goes. Both of you can try this if you want to. especially Tabitha, because you've done it once, so now you should be able to, or twice, so you should be able to do it. Make a square with 9 boxes. Draw a nice circle, more or less the same size, or at the intersections, and then about a slightly smaller circle between in the middle of the circle. This time I'm going to be very brave and use a pen. But I have this design, so I know what to do. Actually, these can be the same size. I'm not making the ones in the middle too big. They should not be big. All should be the same size. That might be throwing you off a little bit. So I'm going to draw diagonal lines one way. Oh, they're already not straight or parallel. And then from the other side, and I'm going to try to keep them exactly the same distance apart. And I'm going to touch this here. This has become too narrow. Ideally, this part in the center should be a proper square. That means my lines are good. But we are drawing everything freehand, so that's a little difficult. Now I'm going to extend this line underneath here, this line from here. Just like we did it in the first knot. Now I'm going to connect the inside lines together. And now extend this outward like this. So I've already made sure that the connections are good. And I'm making these lines a little thick now. Are you girls making this with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, very good. Now I'm very carefully going to draw a line inside this shape, the same distance apart. And I'm going to keep changing the angle that I hold the book, because I can draw better lines at this angle. So I keep rotating the book. Same thing on the inside. Already it's looking very nice. Even if I don't color it, it'll look great. Now, instead of using a pen, I'm going to use paint and paint the inside part only. I'm going to leave the outside unpainted, just the border, the edges. You can use your brush pens for this if you want. Before I paint though, I'm going to erase the construction lines. And once you've done these drawings in rough many times, it becomes quite easy. So you don't really need to keep the construction lines here. So I'm going to make this a nice red color. Use a mix of orange and scarlet. I could do orange and red and green, just like this Christmas design. So when you're painting, remember to keep moving forward. And never go back to fix anything in the earlier sections, because then that can make it even more uneven. So make sure that you have enough paint in your brush, and then keep refilling the brush before it completely dries out. That way you can get a nice even application. And because we have this border, I can directly start painting the green without waiting for the red to dry, because they're not going to touch. But when you're painting on a design where some sections can be wet, you have to be very careful that you don't stamp on top of that. Now, because this was a small design, I'm taking the color directly from the cake, but it's not advisable. It's always good to take the color on your palette, check the consistency, and then paint. And because I didn't do that, you'll see that over here the paint is a little light, over here it's a little deep. But if I feel like correcting it, I'm gonna have to wait till the paint completely dries, and only then I can correct. And while this is drying, I'm going to make a label for this. These are called Celtic Knots. The spelling is CELTIC Celtic. And you will see these still made in countries like Scotland, Ireland, and I'm going to write it in a particular script which I really like of this region, which is called the Insula. But you don't have to remember any of that. So the letters are quite round, but over here you'll make them slightly thick like this. I love the T in this. And the I is merely this might be too complicated. So we can just write Celtic and then write knots like this. Or just knot. And I want to finish it over here, right underneath this. Okay, now I think some of this is dried, so I'm going to shade with my pencil. I'm not even going to use anything else. So just with the tip of my pencil, I'm going to do a little bit of shading in the sections that are underneath. This time I'm also going to shade this reserved section on the side. And my pencil is really blunt, but you can use a slightly sharper pencil. And this will start looking very three-dimensional. This is a lovely exercise to learn how to make stuff look like it has depth, while we're actually just drawing only lines and breaking lines in some places and joining them in other places. It's the simplest kind of optical illusion, overlapping. And if you want it to look like this knot itself is on something, then we can also shade underneath the knot itself so that it looks like it is kept on your book and it's actually a three-dimensional object. So don't shade all around, but shade the bottom and right side of all the lines. Now this line does not have a right side that's open, so we don't. This left side we won't. Just paint the bottom and the right side of the line, not even the top. And this will look like it's a three-dimensional object that is standing or sitting on top of your paper. And we're done. How are your knots looking? Here's another thing we can do for the text. We can put a tape so we know where the baseline is, and we can put another tape to know where the top is. So our letters are always in the right place, the right height. I'm making my letters slightly smaller. I think that'll look better. Maybe I can make it simple also. And I want this letter to look more important. So the word not, I'm just going to write in simple capital letters like this. And maybe now I'll have more room so I can write knots. Remember, whenever you are labeling or titling, always title last, not first. Write the letters in rough a couple of times so you know what your letters are going to look like, and then write them on your fair work. And use guidelines for the letters always. Spend some time in writing letters. They always look better after you spend some time giving the letters a thought, so that your whole page looks pretty. Alright, so that's it. Do you want to share your Celtic knots?